evening. You're welcome to Clevenard TV in Diaspora live interview. I am Adiga Biswe, and you can sign up on Clevenard TV to watch all kinds of movies for free. You can also use this particular platform, or you can benefit from this platform. Or one of the benefits of the platform is that you can network with other people who are business owners, who are like minds, in order to gain access, to gain knowledge about so many things in terms of business networking. And tonight we'll be joined by a special guest who in person is Dr. Bashir Obasekola, and he is the continental chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora organization, NIDO Europe. Good evening, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, you're welcome. In less than 2 minutes, sir, could you please tell us what NIDO stands for in Europe? What the organization has been doing so far for Nigerians in diaspora in Europe, and basically some of the things, some of the challenges you've been facing in this particular part of the world.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you are aware, Nigeria in Diaspora organization is not only in Europe, it's also in other continents of the world. Of course, the purpose of NIDO is to galvanize the human and financial resources of Nigerians in diaspora, that is Nigerian living abroad, towards Nigerian development. That is the mission of NIDO, and it's also we're doing this through various ways. That is, we try to build, network of Nigerians. And of course, while the base of the organization are the professionals that is in various fields of endeavor. But also we also have people who are of, maybe they are not professional in terms of, discipline, but they also have resources to offer, and we also incorporate that into the Nigerian organization. So that is the mission. Of course, have we been, successful in that? Of course, substantially, I can say yes, because we have now all over Nigeria, the word diaspora has become a popular word, which not only at the federal level, but also at the local, even, down to the local level. That is, some of them are also, being engaged, from abroad to come and, participate either in politics or to be, employed into the Nigerian government system, or even in private sector. So to that extent, we can say, yes, we have been able to, bring Nigerian diaspora to limelight into, Nigerian system and getting them involved in day-to-day activities of Nigeria. Apart from that, we also, within ourselves also, encouraging ourselves to be, entrepreneurs and investors in Nigeria. Of course, doing that, you need people to, to reach out to government. So NIDO is also, the interface between Nigerian government and, the diasporans. So if we also look at that in the terms of what have been achieved in that extent, you can also say we are also, having in Nigeria now what we call the Nigeria and Diaspora Commission, which is one of those agencies, one of those government agencies that NIDO was also pushing for, since it was established in 2001 in Europe specifically. It's also, talking about NNVS, that's National, the Volunteer Service, Nigerian National Volunteer Service. It's also one of the agencies that, came about because of the engagement with diaspora. So the purpose of that agency is also to get some Nigerians who are outside, probably a professor, a lecturer, somebody who have, the time for sabbatical. You could go to Nigeria to teach, in universities, to exchange knowledge. So knowledge transfer is also part of the mission, which we also pursue. Of course, what are the challenges we are facing? Of course, the challenges are, I think anybody engaging with Nigeria government, we also know that, of course, there are ups and downs. Also, we have that in the organization. Despite the fact that the organization was, brought into existence, also thanks to the federal government of Nigeria. So, which makes NIDO a unique organization is an organization that was facilitated by federal government of Nigeria, unlike other organizations. So that is why when we talk about Nigerian organization, NIDO stands out. It's a separate organization that has its own origin, also with the facilitation of the federal government of Nigeria during the former President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime, which, of course, up to today, we are very thankful for pushing us to establish this type of organization. You can see the importance of it, during the Russian-Ukraine crisis, that we got involved, despite the fact that the mandate was not given directly to us, but since it was given to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, we had to also put in our human resources and finances that we could, mobilize to help, in making sure that Nigerians are evacuated from Ukraine to Nigeria, and also some of them are still in Europe, and they are still under the assistance and tutelage of Nigerians in Diaspora organization in some of these chapters, especially those chapters that are nearby, Hungary, Slovakia, Poland, and Germany. So some of them are also being assisted by us, to get at least information for them to move on. So those are the things NIDO do, and we also do that, of course, in collaboration with some initiatives, private initiatives, and government agencies that are interested in those things that we do. So that's what I can say for now.
Thank you very much, sir, for the shall I say clarity as to what you do and the organization does, and of course the challenges the organization is facing so far. But because you mentioned some of the visions or the vision of the organization, and that's birthed the question I'm about to ask you. So when I went on the website to check about the objectives of the organization, I read that the organization is geared towards bringing Nigerians together and identify those willing to offer their skills, which is either education, ICT, health, etc., to foster the country's, which is Nigeria's, development. How has the organization fared in this regard? And do you have any statistics to back your claims, sir?
Well, in terms of course, I mentioned earlier that we, get a lot of people from different spheres of life into the organization, and even at the moment now, during my current administration, we are trying to also make sure that we create their interest within the organization. That is, we call them think tanks. That is, think tanks on specific professions. For example, medical, professionals, engineers, economists, lawyers, humanitarian, different spheres, business people. Just to make sure that they don't, their interest does not, get polluted within. When you have different interests and you congregate under one organization, sometimes you might lose interest. And so to make sure that we retain their interest in the organization, we've decided to create those specific mandates that we give them, a group that will be interested in that specific areas of their interest. So if maybe professional, lawyers, humanitarian, activists, social workers, lawyer, mentioning engineers, so these people will have their interest within their, their profession colleagues in the organization. That's so. But statistically, we cannot, start counting figures. But what we can count are names. We can also always mention people who had been in diaspora, now back in Nigeria. Thanks to that movement of diaspora engagement. A lot of people have mentioned earlier that from federal government, because it used to be only limited to federal government level. But now we have seen diaspora policy and programs and liaison officers and focal officers moving from the federal level to the local level. So some of them are also from diaspora. Most recent one is Anambra State government that employed his chief of staff from UK. He was a former, even a councillor in UK, or a mayor in one of the towns in UK. So just to tell you that, such type of employment and engagement are all over the place. Do you put figure into it? Sometimes people get, when we are, Africans, we like to keep, ourselves secret, or, a little bit. Sometimes they don't give figures or they don't give the data, but we know by, coming across it or being announced on the news, or to say, oh, this from diaspora, this from diaspora, the other is from diaspora. So these are the successes that we can, lay our hands on. And of course, earlier on, you can talk about Kojo Weala, you can talk about Olusegun Aganga, you can talk even the current foreign minister of Nigeria, Onyema, is also, once diaspora. So a lot of them are there. Jimo, the man from General Motors, from US, is also there. Mobolaji Aluko, mention a lot of people who have been in diaspora, who have been very much engaged, now back in Nigeria in one position or the other. There are some who are businessmen and women, like I mentioned earlier. Of course, there are a lot of them also in Nigeria and currently who are either in and off, but they are also part of people who came to Nigeria thanks to the engagement of diaspora, which the federal government, started in 2000, and we support it, we keep it going. We are the interface, and we continue to do that, organizational part of mobilizing Nigerians for homeland development.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Moving away from Europe, I want to bring this question home because I'm currently in South Africa, and I've not seen anything that has to do with NIDO in South Africa here. So is NIDO established in South Africa? And if it isn't established in South Africa, how do you plan to establish it in South Africa? Because of the fact that you're aware of the security issues we've got in South Africa, and we have a lot of students, especially Nigerian students, studying here in South Africa in different universities, and these students face some attacks, you understand, by some people who are South Africans, especially a particular group who do not like foreigners, So we need a structure that we can be reporting to, and do not be like a mediator between the government of South Africa and, you understand, the people, like the students or any Nigerian that is here in South Africa. So do you have NIDO here in South Africa? And if you do not have, what is the plan of the organization in establishing NIDO here in South Africa?
Yeah, thank you for that question. First of all, let me remind you that I earlier mentioned that NIDO is, continentally based. So there is NIDO Africa also, who is, directly responsible for making sure that we have established, NIDOs are established in African countries. But talking specifically about South Africa, this I've been around for a while in terms of membership of NIDO. I knew there was a time that we had NIDO in South Africa. But of course, maybe because of rivalry or because of a lot of internal problems, or I don't know why it ceased to exist, like you mentioned. But we have some, strong, NIDO in some African countries. I know we have NIDO in Eswatini, because I've been invited to their program and I participated, and also saw that they invited a lot of Nigerian, officers and officials. Of course, I know we have Lesotho, we have in Egypt, we have in Ghana, in some of these African countries, Benin Republic. So there are a lot of them existing. So if in South Africa it has ceased to exist, of course, I can only plead and or encourage that people who are professionals, who are who have time. Because why we always call professional is because we believe that people who have already, what you call achieved in life, who are self-sustaining, we have time to commit finance, because most of these things, government does not give us money. We do them with our resources. So you should be able to encourage people to establish NIDO in South Africa. South Africa, it is one of the largest, place where we have a large Nigerian population. So I think it is necessary to have it. And once you have it in South Africa, and I think you will be able to also encourage and support all these small NIDO organizations, like I mentioned, Eswatini, Lesotho, all these countries, they will also be part of it and also make it stronger, because you will be networking among yourselves in that aspect. So that is, about that. So NIDO it should be everywhere, because especially where we have a large concentration of Nigerians, because we will be able to, assist, because I know there are Nigerian national organizations already existing in some of these countries. But NIDO is a unique organization in the sense that it has strong connection with Nigerian government, because it also has strong connection network beyond the territory that is existing. For example, I mentioned earlier that I was invited to Eswatini. Imagine if I had not been part of NIDO. I don't think Eswatini would have known I exist, as a human being. But here you are, I got an invitation. So that is the way we do it. Americans invite us, we get ourselves together. Europe invites, So all over the world, we network together. And by, knowing each other, exchanging ideas and knowledge, make us stronger, and also make us know each other to the extent that, you can even have a network in Nigeria that will be based on your knowledge of each other from the diaspora. So those are the things that is the benefits of being part of this, global network. We always call it NIDO family. So, belong to NIDO family, it pays off because you will know each other. It helps you to, enlarge your horizon of Nigeria, of yourself, even some of the things that you don't know about yourself. You will come to know that, you are not alone in this thing. There are other Nigerians who also are in that same either profession or knowledge or even in outlook, that you can join and become partners, either in business or in politics or in government.
All right, sir. Moving forward, because you know that next year is election season in Nigeria, and it is going to be very hot. And we've heard in different part of the media about diaspora voting, why we should engage in diaspora voting, why we shouldn't engage in diaspora voting, etc., etc. So, sir, what is your own take as regards diaspora voting?
Yeah, diaspora voting have been, I've been in our dialogue with government since 2000 and I think 2006 or even earlier, especially once the engagement between diaspora and the government of Nigeria started becoming, a very robust thing. There was Diaspora Day established that we go to Nigeria every July. To spend, almost 3, 4, 5 days, to engage government. So we started raising the issue of, Nigerians are outside all over the world, and we still belong to Nigeria as citizens, that we should also have that right to vote. Of course, we were made to understand that there are things in the Constitution of Nigeria, especially that relates to election, that does not permit election being held outside Nigerian territory. So if you want to vote, that means that you have to come back to Nigeria. So, and that is not possible. So we have been pushing for diaspora voting, and the first time it was tabled in the House, I think during when Honorable Abike Dabiri was still in the House of Rep. I think she and some other colleagues tried to put across that bill, but it was defeated. So they didn't go further with it. Some years later, there was another attempt by the current, I think she's still the current Honorable Tolulope Sadipe, Akonde Sadipe, she is also part of the group of House of Rep, who also tried to, submit a bill to change the part of the Constitution that we allow diaspora voting. It went through second reading. Also, when the constitution review process was on, we also submitted, NIDO submitted our own version and a request that that part of the constitution should be amended to allow us to vote. But unfortunately, and I think to the disappointment of all of us, that bill was defeated. It was not allowed to move on by the House. They rejected the diaspora voting, to which we protested. We wrote a very strong petition, that is NIDO worldwide, not only NIDO Europe, but NIDO worldwide, to the House members and senators, and to submit our displeasure about what happened. And we also submitted to the presidency, of course, even though President Muhammadu Buhari is always, when he travels, he's always telling us that he supports us to seek for voting, but unfortunately that has not happened. So in 2023, I'm afraid it will not happen. I think so, because the time has already been too short. But if it happens, of course, we are very happy, because we have protested. We have told them to review, to go back to that and make sure that we are put on. But going further in future, I believe we will not give up. We will continue to push for diaspora voting, because we know that diaspora, we have been contributing a lot to Nigerian economy. If not, because some people say, why has Nigeria not collapsed economically, unlike some other countries? It's because thanks to the, averagely $20 billion of diaspora remittances that comes to Nigeria economy. And once those remittances slows down, you will see the effect in Nigeria immediately. What is happening to Naira now in Nigeria, it is also part of the fact that there is a slowdown in the diaspora remittances that comes in, which is even more than some direct investment that is coming to Nigeria. And so I think diaspora voting is something. And currently, NIDO Worldwide has constituted a committee that is specifically given that mandate to continue to pursue and give us and advise us the ways and method of how we can make sure that that continue to be on the table for the national lawmakers. Even during the Diaspora Day, we also raised the issue, and everybody re-echo it. Even President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the head of his administration, Ambassador Gambari, also reiterated that, and also Honorable Abike and all the diasporas who were there also reiterated it, including myself. So that is the situation. So diaspora voting is very important, and we continue to pursue it.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Still on the election topic, or still on the election talk, I'm sure that some diasporans also have eye for particular officers in Nigeria, So how has NIDO supported diasporans in contesting for election to occupy or to participate in becoming a public officer in the country?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are very right that currently we have a lot of diasporans who are maybe have become candidates, into various election positions. Of course, some of them also tried vie during the primary. Some of them won, some of them did not. Generally, NIDO is not political. We call it a political organization. The reason being that we don't want to bring, wherever there is political differences, that could be, some disruptions into the organization and the unique and the cohesion within the organization. So we try to avoid direct partisanship. But despite that, we encourage our members to support, either financially or physically or by vote, or encouraging their members of their families at home to vote for certain candidates, in their aspiration for offices. We will continue to do that. Currently, we have a lot of formidable candidates in some of the political parties that are vying for offices. I don't want to start mentioning them, but they know. We know some of them. They are known in Nigeria as a diaspora. So we will continue to, within as individuals, encourage them, and has encouraged our members to support them. Of course, maybe towards the election time, we will be more vocal in supporting them than now, because now we want to make sure that we give, like a level playing ground for all the political parties, to be within, who are within our membership, to continue to remain so, and there should not be any fight, because when you start raising issues, there might be fighting. So we don't want infighting. That's why we keep it very low, but we continue to pray for them. We continue to encourage them. Some of our members are actually strongly supporting and on the field running for some of these candidates. So that's how it is continue to be. But if in future we decide to create a political wing of Nigerians in diaspora, of course, that would be a different ballgame. But at this current time, we are apolitical and we continue to play our game within the law.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Obasekola, could you please tell us the immigration policy that NIDO has for diasporans in general?
Okay. Well, in general words, what we do is we discourage irregular migration. That is migration that you go through all those, illegal means, going through the Sahara Desert or the sea and all those, or going through human trafficking. We discourage that. We know that the world has changed. Migration has become part and parcel of human life. People move from one location to the other, either for economic reasons or for political reasons or for social reasons or for cultural reasons or for even relationship reasons. It just, they just feel to live where they were born to another location. So we encourage people to prepare themselves well before moving from where they're from, Nigeria, for example, and especially our youth who are very voracious and eager to travel. We always also tell them that, of course, we cannot discourage you by saying, okay, don't travel. Of course, we would have wished that everybody stays in Nigeria, develop the country, because that is how countries are developed. But if you decide to travel, but please travel legally, so that you will not fall into, human trafficking hands or exploited, or even find yourself in jail for violating immigration laws of any country. So this is our principle. How do we also help? We also try to bring in knowledge, that is expanding, exchanging knowledge with people who listen to some of our what we call the seminars or conferences on immigration. There is one that is even being planned currently with a partner, which we also intend to, enlighten people on, the best way to migrate, and that you should go for migration, with full knowledge of what and what to do, and what are the benefits and what are the challenges you might meet, so that you at least will be well prepared. They say, when you are well prepared for something, it will not be a shock, something that you will be able to adapt quickly to it. So those are the policies we have, that is not discouraging, but encouraging, regular migration, discourage irregular migration.
All right, that's great. That's nice. As the Europe Continental Chairman, I'm very sure you are aware of the fact that we have a lot of students in the UK who are Nigerians, and these students oftentimes do not really have the financial means to further their education. So they depend on menial jobs, and some of them even juggle between 4, 3, 5 jobs. You understand? And it becomes so hectic for these people. And we have some of these people, some of the students who are very brilliant, who are vibrant as well. And like you said, the organization is more like more like a federal government kind of organization. because you have the backing of the federal government. How can this organization, how can NIDO, with or in cooperation with the UK government, help these students get good jobs in order to further their education without having to source for menial jobs and do all kinds of stuff, like juggle between 4, 5, 6, all kinds of jobs. Like, it can be very stressful and studying at the same time. So how can NIDO partner with UK government in order to get these vibrant students good jobs in order to further their education?
Yeah, thank you. Of course, I'm aware that, it is not new, actually. I remember during my student days, we also do, go during the holidays, we, try to, look for one job or the other. Of course, we call it menial job. I know that reasons for students looking for menial jobs is to, augment for the, difference between what their parents or the sponsors could offer and what they actually need. So it's to meet up that difference that push them to, doing a lot of these menial jobs you call. But I think, one of the reasons also is because some of the students get, admitted to universities or to institutions over there, not knowing actually or not having a very 100% assurance of their source of support from home. So once that one shuts down, of course, they will be forced to look for 4 or 5 jobs, which of course, disturbs their studies. And I think that is the reason behind that. So what we could have encouraged is a system whereby in Nigeria there could be student loans, whereby a student could have, maybe get loan to go and study and come back to pay. If that had been there, there would not be need for them to look for 4 or 5 jobs. Maybe they only have 1 or 2. But when you have that, gap between your means, of course, you'll be forced to. So what can NIDO do? Well, NIDO, we can be an advocate, advocacy, but it's let the government know the problems the students are facing. Maybe, of course, seek for maybe a more discounts, because we are, the member of what do we call it now, Commonwealth of Nations, and of course we should have certain discounts for school fees. So if those discounts are applied and applied, judiciously or justly, maybe they will not need to have much job to meet up the school fees. But because there's exorbitant school fees and a lot of pressure on them, social pressure, others, of course, it needs those. I think it's advocacy from NIDO, and not only that. Of course, I can also mention that thank God we have a lot of Nigerians, people of Nigerian origin, who are now in high positions in UK government. Maybe we should also let them know the problems students, the youth are facing in terms of this issue, so that they can also look for a way of assisting them or putting a system in government in UK to be able to give them some leverage, so that they will be able to get some of these things cushioned down beyond what they are currently having. So I think that is the only thing we can do, because like I mentioned, it would have been good if they have a constant source of financing from home, either student, loans, or their parents are well off, or their parents are also, the economy of Nigeria is also growing, so that if their parents are business people or salary earners, their money should be able to, cater, the exchange rate should be favorable, good enough for them to have and give money to their children to feed themselves and take care of themselves in the school. So those are the things I think I can think about now.
Okay, so sir, for the benefit of those that are viewing this interview, could you please tell us when the process will start? And yeah, could you just tell us when you intend
the process? Yeah, the process is on. We actually, beyond the exchange that you mentioned, There are, Nigerians in diaspora organization in UK, that are also very friendly to students and the youth, and they also in this, in this issue of sensitization and also helping each other. Recently, we created NIDO Youth Wing, all over Europe. And one of the reasons for that is also what you have said, to exchange, because when you have exchange and network within yourselves, maybe some of the jobs you are looking for, you might get it easier than you are committing to it, because you have friends who will give you information. So that's what we're developing. We are developing youth network, NIDO youth, and I think if that is exploited to the highest, to the maximum, the network that they will develop among themselves will help them to, overcome some of the challenges that attach to these things we are talking about. So it is already started. So another level of intervention, which I mentioned, are things we push that I will also reiterate when I go back to, either to the board meeting or to any other event that we have, to encourage, our, politically attached people in UK to also help us, look into this and how it can be resolved from the government level, from UK government level.
Okay, so you mentioned youth wing.
Yes.
How can the youth get, or is there any website that people can sign up to in order to get connected to the youth wing and get benefit from the youth wing of NIDO?
Yes, we have. During my administration, we give 2 slots to the youth in the board of trustees of NIDO Europe, and we have currently, the youth representative. She is also based in UK. Who is in charge of youth. So anybody who wants to get involved, either in UK or any other European countries, you have, I can mention the email, it's youthrep@nidoeurope.org. That's youthrep@nidoeurope.org. Send your email to that, we'll get in touch with you and exchange ideas or information that you think you need to pass through, that youth. So anybody who is in that category of youth can always, get in touch with us through our youth rep, who is a member of the board of NIDO Europe.
Thank you very much, sir. Recently, about 38 Nigerians were deported from the United Kingdom, and no reason was stated as to why they were deported by the Nigerian government. Could you please clear the air as to why these people, because some of them said that spent a long number of years in the UK and they do not know why they were deported, and if you want to avoid, in order to avoid something like this in the future, what can people do in order not to be deported from the UK or from any part of Europe?
Okay. Maybe I don't know if you a slip of tongue. You said you were deported by Nigerian government. I doubt if that is the case.
It was a slip of tongue. No,
it was you.
They were deported, I think, from the UK to Nigeria.
To Nigeria. Okay. All right. Okay. Because I know Nigerian government cannot deport anybody from anywhere. So, So, we mentioned earlier when we were talking about immigration, and we talk about regular immigration. Of course, when you mean regular immigration, you mean that you are, by status, you have your visa allowing you to stay, in the country. So, of course, maybe some of these people, maybe they had the visa that has elapsed, and they couldn't maybe renew it, and as a result, they fell short of the UK law. But of course, I mentioned earlier, we're also member of the Commonwealth of Nations, and I think Nigeria should also be treated with certain humility, in that, being humane to us, because we are a member of the Commonwealth, and when you are a member of the Commonwealth, it means that you have one time or the other, your generation, has contributed to the development of UK, indirectly. So, and that means that our citizens should also be treated fairly. So people who have stayed for so long years, of course, there should be room for amnesty. If you have not committed any crime that is beyond immigration, being default in immigration rules, if you have not committed any criminal activities, I think the Nigeria deserve to be properly treated. So the 38 people, 36 you mentioned, probably some of them might have been in one thing or the other, but I cannot give specification now because, of course, the UK government we only declared that they defaulted in their immigration or they have, and as a result they have been deported. Of course, Nigerian government has no what we call it any alternative than to receive its own citizens, especially if there are passports to show that these are Nigerian citizens. Of course, they will have to receive them. So that is the only thing. But I hope that their predicament is not being complicated by action or inaction of Nigerian embassies in UK. So that is in terms of maybe they didn't get their Nigerian passport early enough, so they couldn't process their stay or one thing or the other that has to do with Nigerian government or consulate services. That one I cannot say. So if that is the case, then that is unfortunate. I will wish that it will not happen to any one of our citizens anywhere in Europe. That is thanks or maybe to Nigerian government activities, they were deported. That would be a catastrophe.
Okay, so last but not the least, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that not all part of Europe, like not all the consulates gives or prints Nigerian passports to Nigerian citizens. What is NIDO doing about that? Because we have some Nigerians leaving Poland to Austria to print or to apply for passports renewal. So what is NIDO doing in order to make sure that these people do, because some of these people are even students and they still have to get money in order to travel to another country in order to get their application done and get their passports printed and of course get it collected by them. So what is NIDO doing in order to ensure that there is there are offices stationed in Europe where people or students or Nigerians in general can go and get their passports, apply and collect their passports?
Yes, you are very right that issue of passports have been one of the number one problems that Nigerians face outside the country. Even though the government have tried, I remember in 2014 or 2008 rather, when we started the e-passport, they were tried. There are a lot of attempts to improve the services of the immigration service of Nigeria, also in the embassies outside the country. But of course, we still see a lot of challenges in that. The recent ones are that there are no booklets. There are no booklets enough to satisfy the needs of Nigeria, and that has been the problem for many years now, which of course NIDO has always raised that issue whenever we have the opportunity to talk to any of the officers. I remember was it early this year, we had a meeting, a town hall meeting with the Minister of Interior, Honorable Ralph Adesola, and the Immigration Service, where we also tabled the issue, and he also explained, of course, some of I know they've been trying to liberalize some of it, that is, they say, okay, Nigeria can come back to Nigeria now, even with expired passport, to come and get it in Nigeria. Nigerians don't need traveling certificate now to come to Nigeria once you have your passport, either expired or copy of it or something like that. There are a lot of things they're trying to do, but I know at the same time that there are some unscrupulous immigration officers who don't make these things work well. Because when you travel to Nigeria with expired passport, you'll be kept somewhere, they'll be threatening you and all those things, and make you scared and all those things. Whereas the minister said you can come, there are some officers who will just start molesting you. So those are the problems that are still there. and also the booklet. We also issue the fact that we express it that the booklets should be printed in Nigeria. If we are, we have this. I think we have what we call it, national meeting commission or agency that prints some, very what we call it, security enhanced document in Nigeria. Why can't they be printing passports so that it will augment for the shortage? Because they say our Nigerian passport is printed somewhere in Malaysia. Imagine such a thing, or in South Africa or somewhere. It doesn't speak well of us as a country. So I think it's that time we start producing Nigerian passport at home, so that will remove the cost and also the exchange rate. Now that exchange rate is killing the country, if we have been printing at home, we don't need to procure very expensive rate. At the embassies, yes, there are a number of embassies that don't have passport processing machine. It was even worse before. I remember even in Russian embassy, when they were not having, we had to, use our contact, our experience, our, pressure to bring, to make sure we have one in Russia. And that happened. And some other countries of such. So also, we have a situation whereby some of the machines also break down. They cannot, repair them because they say they have to send in somebody from either Nigeria or somewhere else, which is also not good enough. So these are the problems, but we continue to make it known. We continue to pressurize it. At the National Diaspora Day, a few days ago, the immigration officer was also there, or the DG, or is it DG they call it, of the immigration service was also there to explain and to say what they are doing to alleviate this situation and make sure that passports are processed faster, timely, and also not too expensive. And we continue to pursue that. NIDO is also putting all this pressure, because we are also like a pressure group. So whenever we know that there's a problem within the diaspora, we make sure we continue to ring it to the government, and propose alternatives. Like I mentioned earlier, even we were one of those people that proposed that they should have 10-year duration of passport instead of 5 years passport. So maybe in future we should have more than that, maybe 15 years of passport, especially when somebody is already above 30 or above 35. You should be able to procure a passport that will be for 10 years or for 20 years. Without having to change it, because the slower you change your passport, the less the pressure on having to reprint passports, which is costing the Nigerian government a lot of foreign exchange.
Aside the website that NIDO has, is NIDO on any social media platform in order to make sure that Nigerians in diaspora get information that they need part-time?
Yes, we are in social media. We are in Facebook. We are in Twitter. Of course, we are planning to also have a presence in any other platform like YouTube, so that things will be seen not only by words but also by visually seeing some of the things we do or what we engage in. So we will continue to promote that. We also intend to have engagement with our partner, with people who are in the media, to promote what NIDO is doing, not to limit it to our own capability only, but also to have partnership with the media. We will continue to leverage on that, on our professionals, on our associates, and friends of Nigeria who are in the media, to continue to promote that in future.
So could you please tell us the Facebook name, the Twitter handle, and of course...
Facebook name is Nigerian Diaspora Organization Europe. That's Facebook / Nigerian Diaspora Europe. You will say there's a group. So if you click, you join, we will admit you to be a member. In Twitter, it is at NIDO Europe 1. NIDO Europe 1. So we're also there. So follow us. You also get information about what we are doing and the information we are sharing amongst ourselves.
Thank you very much, sir. We've been having a very nice discussion with the Continental Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Europe, in person of Dr. Bashir Obasekola. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
We've come to the end of the program. So we come to the end of the program. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.